NIBLET. So I'm coming into the office for a consultation.
Let's do a Zoom consultation since we're here.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, Molly.
Hey, Denny, how are you doing today?
I'm good. This is exciting. We're ramped up. We're new. New. We're not even bought a house yet, and we're excited about taking advantage of the low interest rates and having our own place.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be chatting with you about it and talk to you about the process and what it's looking like. Pause. I'm going to jump out of the role play here because I think it's important for everyone watching this NIBLET to know that, of course, as a bold agent, that I have already done some pre-qualification and connecting over the phone. So I know Denny's general circumstance. I know that he's a first-time home buyer. And so we're going through the buyer consultation, and this is an 8-minute role play. So I'm not going to show you an entire consultation. We're going to narrow this piece down, which maybe after all these NIBLETs, Denny, we'll end up with a full consultation. I'm going to narrow this one down to specifically talk about, in this particular NIBLET, we're going to talk about setting expectations for the specific market that we're in. And this specific market that Denny and I are touching on in many of our NIBLET series is a strong seller's market where there are multiple offers, and how to help a buyer overcome reluctance to enter into that kind of market. Okay? All right, so back to it. So Denny, again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat today. I know this is a really important part of the process for your goal and to get into the home. So I just want to make sure you understand that what we're doing together today, first things first, we're just having a conversation today. I'm going to educate you about the buying process. I'm going to help you understand the current market that we're in. We're going to talk about that, make certain this is something that you'd like to do. And then we're going to talk about our business relationship together. How does that sound?
It's good. And we've been preparing for this meeting. I've been online studying, and we've watched like 4 hours of HGTV. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
Good for you, Denny. That's wonderful. I'm thrilled to hear that. So tell me then, let's roll right into that. What have you seen about the market? What's going on? What do you know about it?
Well, I Googled how to buy a house, and of course our parents are giving us all kinds of advice about, you offer like 10% less and you negotiate. And I know this market's going kind of fast. It's a little bit worrisome to us.
Sure.
We've already talked to a lender. We saw that we should talk to a lender, and so we did. And we're thinking about getting pre-approved. We haven't yet. We're shopping for the lowest interest rate, and so we on online lenders. We're looking at those things, and that's where we are.
Well, good for you. It sounds like you've done a lot of legwork, and I'm definitely looking forward to breaking those pieces down for you and letting you know how those things come into play. First of all, let's talk about the why. What on earth is driving you to be diving in head first to this real estate market? What makes you want to buy a home right now?
You think we haven't really said anything to anyone? Can we keep this confidential?
Absolutely. It goes no further than the Zoom.
We're expecting twins.
Congratulations. Holy cow. So tell me more about that. What do the twins have to do with the house?
Well, at my age of 65 and my wife at 50 plus, we're going to keep it a little quiet. No, our family's growing. Your
family's growing. Tell me about the space you're in right now.
Okay. Well, it's a 2-bedroom loft apartment. We had a house at one time and we lost it because of the market correction. We don't want to make those mistakes again. So we've been renting. We had to rent for 7 years to get our credit cleaned up because we lost our other house during a foreclosure. And so we're excited about stepping back in. So right now we're at about, I don't know how big, about 1,600 square feet. So we'd like to have something with a yard, of course, and maybe a couple thousand square feet. And we've been doing some shopping on Zillow. We can see that homes are like in the 250 range. That sounds like it's affordable for us.
Great. Yeah. And of course, we'll narrow that down and help you out with that, of course. But let's go back to the twins. Tell me what would happen if this weren't a process that you were wanting to go forward with and you stayed put in your apartment? What does that look like after the twins are born?
Oh, there's just no way. I mean, we've got one bedroom's up, it's a loft, and the other one's down, and I can't see my wife running up and down stairs all the time to feed them. And so that's an absolute no.
Okay, so you're telling me failure is not an option here. We're going to figure this out. And we're going to find you a house.
We're going to find something on one level.
Good for you. Okay, so it sounds like this is really about quality of life for you and your wife. Is that right?
Yeah, it is, and making mama happy.
Making mama happy. They have a little saying around that. Do you know it? Happy.
Yeah, yes. Happy, happy wife, happy life.
That's the one, Denny. That's the one. Absolutely. So this is about your happiness. This is about making sure the kids have what they need and that you have what you need. And I just want to make sure I'm on the same page. Okay, good.
Yes, we are. Yes,
Good.
you are.
Okay. Oh, hi there.
Sonny, is that you?
Oops.
Sorry.
We'll
All
be able
right.
to edit that part out. No,
Maybe.
someone just broke into our Zoom meeting. Hey, that might happen in your buyer consults. You never know. All right. So what I'm doing here is I'm not, do you notice there, we could have gone in a million directions. Denny told me he was reasonably unrealistic in a few things, told me he wasn't qualified yet. There's a million directions that as a real estate agent, we think we should go in. And I can tell you emphatically that this session is about one thing and one thing only. You've got to understand their motivation. And it has to be more than understanding, oh, great, you're having 2 kids. You need a bigger house. Let's move on. This isn't just about the bigger house. He told me about the loft, about the convenience, about making sure they're on one level. There's a lot going on here. And the reason this is so critical when you're guiding a buyer in an environment like we're in right now, we've got to be able to revisit that over and over and over. And so I'm sitting here taking great notes because when it comes down to it, after I've educated Denny, and again, this isn't the full buyer consultation, after I've educated him on the current market, gotten their buy-in, understanding expectation around what it's going to take to get this house, and we actually hit the ground running and we go to see homes, I'm not going to say things like, is this the house you want to buy? I'm going to say things like, can you see yourself living in this home? Great. So what kind of offer are we going to make certain your wife isn't running up and down those loft steps 3 months from now when the twins are born?
So as an observation on my side, what she's doing and modeling really well, you guys, and this is a mistake a lot of agents make, particularly newer ones, don't answer the question you're asking. Ask.
Say that again, Denny.
Don't answer your own questions and only answer. Remember, when you text, you only text one question at a time. Don't double it up because you're wasting one because you won't get 2 answers. When she asks a question, she lets me answer it. It's like, are you looking for a 3-bedroom or do you want something a little bit bigger? I mean, you want a 3-bedroom. So anyway, just notice that she's asking questions and let me answer.
Yep. So real quick too, out of the role play, I want to make sure y'all understand that. In fact, I'm going to flip to this page. Great thing to review right now. Sorry, the light. This is Win with Buyers. I'm going to get real close. There you go. Yeah. This class is Win with Buyers. You can just go to KWU. I know a lot of us aren't in classes and whatnot right now. You can go and get this resource, download the book, because one of the things I really want y'all to see is the time that you're meant to be spending talking about and listening to, et cetera, et cetera. So in the actual buyer consultation, there is a way to break it down. And when you learn this model, step 1 is to set the stage. Then you do the needs analysis and educate the buyer, educate them on the market as well as the process, sharing your value proposition, setting service expectations, close for the agreement, that's signing the paperwork, and then your next steps. Notice that when you are in this process, you are speaking or you are listening. And you can see here when you're doing the needs analysis and educating your buyer, Denny, what's the majority of the work to be done?
Listening.
Yeah. Agents have got to listen. We do so much telling. And remember the old adage, telling is selling. This is not a market where you're going to sell anyone anything. So in your listening skills, hone in on the questions you're asking, dig 3 deep, and understand their motivation at the highest level. For the rest of my 1-hour consultation now with Denny and his wife and their unborn twins, we're going to revisit that probably 10, 11, 12 times. And it's not about me selling anything. This is my job as a decision facilitator to help him understand that in this market, there isn't a fence. We've got to be a mile off the fence. You can't even be close to the fence as a buyer in this market, because to win in this market, we're going to partner together and I'm going to help guide you to get the house that you want and the house that you need for your family, which ultimately, of course, is their goal. So I know that was a little bit of a short role model, yet the important and emphatic point that we've got to make here, my friends, is find the motivation and set the expectation all around the motivation.
So would you do something for me, Molly? Would you, I know you're doing this in snippets, niblets. how do you set,
Sentence.
how do you get me prepared for the speed of the market? Can we have that conversation?
Absolutely, we can have that conversation.
Because
All right,
I tried to set you up because, you know, about offering 10% less, blah, blah, blah.
sure, sure. So, and again, I'm gonna reference in because I want y'all to be able to reference something, so you can obviously go back and read this several or watch this several times. However, in the Win with Buyers material, there are scripts to talk about educating your buyer on the current market, and you'll notice that we started to do that. I went where the conversation went. I asked Denny, "What do you know about the current market?" No matter what they say, you then give them the truth. That's great. Great. Wow. It sounds like you know a lot. So here's what we're seeing. And we're going to break it down. I want to make sure you understand that this depends on your market and, frankly, their micro market. It's not necessarily about what's happening in Asheville, North Carolina. It's not necessarily what's happening in Biltmore Farms, North Carolina. It's what's going on in 250,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square feet. What's the availability there? How am I competing? What's going to be the speed of the market there? So great question. So Denny, let's go back into the role play. So let's talk about that. I know that you've done a lot of research, and it sounds like you've had some great conversations with your mom, and I and you both love some HGTV. That being said, I think it's pretty important to break this down for you and your wife so that we're looking at the micro market, the one you're actually going to buy in. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
You've got a great overview and a wonderful picture. However, to win in this market, we've really got to understand stuff at a micro level. So would it be okay if I just dove into that?
Yeah.
Great. So I've prepared a couple charts for you. I know that you are thinking you're probably going to be approved for 250,000. And of course, we'll connect you and get that confirmed. Yet I did all this research based on that. And in the $250,000 price range, homes listed at $250,000 in April, they were selling for about 99% of list price. Now, here's the thing I really want you to hear, Denny, because I'm sure you've seen it as well. In August, the first 2 weeks of August, the market you're entering right now, those same houses are now selling for 103% of list price. So a house listed at 250,000 is actually selling 3% higher. And for y'all, that's about $7,500. And the last thing I want to do as your buyer's agent is to show you a home that you ultimately cannot buy. That wouldn't be very much fun, would it?
No, you're saying show me a home that I cannot buy, or I cannot afford.
Well, and that's going to be up to you. And I'm going to help you through that process. Ultimately, that mortgage is going to be in your name. So my job is just to help you make the best decision for your family, which ultimately is what you're doing here, right, Denny?
So are you saying to me though, all right, so there's a house listed on the market of $250,000, and you think based on averages, and you know what averages, you know what figures say, liars figure, figures liar, something like that. Anyway, so I won't even get to see that.
Yeah.
There's a chance, isn't there, that the seller's going to take something less, right?
Sure. So here's the thing of it. You're hiring me today to help you find this property, to get you and the wife in before the twins are born so that you can be all on one level, right?
Right.
And if I'm spending all your time, you're dragging your sweet pregnant wife around and looking at houses that ultimately are not in the price range that is going to be comfortable for y'all, listed at 250 and selling at 257, I'm not sure that that's exactly what you would be looking for in an agent. And I hear what you're saying, and I definitely don't want to discourage you by any means. It'll be a case-by-case basis. Yet, to find you the house, get you where you're going, and get the baby's room all set up before the kids are born, I really think it's going to be beneficial to see what the market is telling us. I don't make the market. My job is simply to help you understand it and interpret that so that you can make the best move. Because to be competitive in this real estate market, it's very likely, hey, look, we have a visitor. And this actually happens in buyer meetings sometimes. Your cat sneaks in the door, and there she is. So this is the kind of thing that's happening that we're seeing. So if there was a house listed at $240,000 and you and the wife loved it, it had the room for the kids, everything was on one level, there's no loft, and you can move right in. It's listed at $240,000, but probably more likely worth closer to 250, which is in your price range. Isn't that something you'd want to be first in line for?
Yeah, but I'm still not, here, I'm just going to push back a little bit because I
Yeah,
hear.
please do, because people are pushing.
Does every house listed at 250 sell higher than 250?
You know, Denny, that's a really great question. And of course not. There's no such thing as always in real estate. However, the best houses are getting the most interest and they're getting multiple offers. And from everything you've told me about your goals, you and your wife and your twins that are being born in a couple of months, it seems to me that you truly are after one of the best homes. Am I right about that?
Yeah, she's using the old best home trick. You know why the best homes sell first, don't you? They're the best.
You're the best.
And you know what the other homes are called? Leftovers.
The worst.
Leftovers.
Leftovers. I love it.
Now, again, I just wanted, now here's the thing. I know that a lot of times you're going to have to school buyers. And one thing I just picked up, how many times is she talking about my pregnant wife and twins that are coming? She's always tying that back. She said she's going to repeat it and go back here about 10 or 12, 14 times. And she's always tying that in, which is great. You're going back to motivation. I mean, here's the thing. People don't want to move.
Right.
They want the results of the move.
Yes. Bingo. Bingo.
So,
and we've really got to connect with them. And that's the thing I also want folks to hear. And I know we're going long here yet. To finish with this point, it really is about, I can't have this conversation with Denny if I haven't built rapport and trust. If I don't show up as the professional who legitimately cares, then of course you're going to sound like a swarmy salesperson. However, this is the truth in this market. If I don't know what to say and how to guide Denny and his wife, I could cost them the largest investment in their lifetime. And I'm not going to A, sell them a house, or B, earn any referrals ever again. So we've got to be bold enough, smart enough, and strong enough to have these strong conversations. Otherwise, you're a door key, you're a tour guide, and you're an information booth. And do you know what door keys, information booths, and tour guides get paid? Not professional salaries.
you're leaving one out. You're Uber driver.
Uber driver. Yeah, there you go. Hey,
Awesome job.
Tour guide.
So anyway, that's it for this time. And be watching for the our next NIBLETs, because we'll take it a little bit further on preparing them for a multiple offer situation and them losing.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Until then, be bold, be safe. Love you, mean it.